So listen to this. As of June 13th, according to Spotrac, running backs across the NFL have an average salary of just about $1.8 million. They rank 17th out of the 20 positions listed, ahead of only fullbacks, punters, and long snappers in terms of average salary. So running backs only ahead of fullbacks, punters, and long snappers. That means place kickers on average
make more than running backs.
Make more than running backs. And we joke about, like, are kickers even real NFL players?
There's also more of them, I guess. I mean, there's 4 or 5 running backs per team as opposed to one place kicker.
Who are you putting more value on to win a game? And I'm not trying to put any shade on kickers because, I mean, they win and lose games as well. But
how many running backs would you take over Justin Tucker, though?
I would take a handful of running backs.
Wait, you just said all of them?
The majority of them?
Yeah.
Wait, really?
I would take Dalvin Cook over. I would take Saquon Barkley over him.
Okay, how about this? How many
Jacobs.
running backs playing today are going to the Hall of Fame? Because Justin Tucker is going to the Hall of Fame.
That's a great point. I don't know. It's still to be determined how many are going to get in the Hall of Fame, but I still think that they affect your offense more than Justin Tucker. They affect your passing game, obviously the running game.
I don't know. The kicker literally wins and loses games for teams. I don't know why I'm stumping for kickers. But.
I'm with TJ. I take running backs over kickers.
And are we sure how many kickers are in the Hall of Fame? I think of Jan Stenerud. I think Morton Anderson.
Adam Vinatieri is going to be there.
Right.
That's my point.
Like, so Tucker's an anomaly.
Vinatieri is a lot, in my opinion, should be a lock because he legitimately won you 2 Super Bowls.
Justin Tucker is the best kicker in NFL history, statistically.
I get it, but
you don't think Justin Tucker is making the Hall of Fame?
I mean, look, I would think so.
Yes or no? It's a simple question.
Is Vinatieri making the Hall of Fame?
No doubt.
Okay. Then
why hasn't he already made the Hall of Fame?
He's not eligible?
Yeah, he just retired like 3 years ago.
Yeah, he only retired a couple of years ago.
I mean, I believe Vinatieri
think he's a first ballot?
He's
Vinatieri?
Oh, 100%.
I don't know. Honestly, bro.
First ballot?
I don't know if Tucker's going. I mean, statistically speaking.
Man, you were really tap dancing.
I really don't. I don't. That's not a tap dance. I'm being honest with you. I don't know that you can. You said that with a whole lot of confidence, but I don't know that for a fact Justin Tucker's going to be in the Hall of Fame. I believe Adam Vinatieri should most definitely be in the Hall of Fame, though.
I'd be surprised if Vinatieri was a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Oof. But you think he makes it, right?
Over time, I don't know. I don't love kickers in the Hall of Fame.
Justin Tucker has made 7 straight All-Pros.
I get it. There's
okay.
Morton Anderson, Jan Stenerud, George Blanda, Lou Groza. I believe that is it.
Most kickers are forgettable, but the ones who jump out. Okay.
Are you valuing kickers more than running backs?
I think in today's game, running backs are interchangeable.
Why?
Why? It's kind of the way the game is played right now. It's a pass first league, so if you have a running back who can catch passes, they're more valuable than guys who can run between the tackles because you can get a running back who can do all of those things. Like Christian McCaffrey can run between the tackles, run outside the tackle, catch passes. So that is today's NFL running back, and that's where the value is. So is someone like Jonathan Taylor worth as much as Christian McCaffrey or even Saquon Barkley? I don't think so.
No, I mean, it's an interesting question, why the value is going down, and those are some of the reasons that are talked about. One, I mean, the position is prone to injury, gets hit the most, right, out of any position. Running backs have the shortest average career in the NFL. 2.57 years for a running back is the average career length. So do you want to give them a 5-year contract for millions of dollars if history says they're going to last for less than 3? I get it, money-wise. The game is based more on passing now, but I would argue that the running back sets that up. If you don't have any sort of running game, the defense would account for that, and you wouldn't be able to pass as well. A great season does not mean it'll happen again because, once again, you had so many carries. So it's very rare that you might have back-to-back good seasons as a running back. It is extremely rare to have back-to-back-to-back amazing seasons at that position. And as Brockman said, you can draft a running back, spend less money, pick a running back up in free agency, and potentially, get to that same production. But I think there are guys that stand out. I think Saquon Barkley, stands out. I think Josh Jacobs has stood out. Tony Pollard, as well. But it's unfortunate that with the franchise tag, you're capping those guys because you're not paying a ton of them that much to begin with. I mean, $10 million is a lot of money. So, we're living in first world problems. It's not like it's the end of the world making $10 million. But compared to other positions, it's not the same. And I would, there's the Le'Veon Bell factor to me as well. Right. So he's the only running back since 2010 to get the franchise tag, not sign a long-term extension prior to the deadline. So these other guys, they still have time. I believe it's July 17th that they have in order to sign that long-term deal. They're on the franchise tag. He actually sat out a year, Le'Veon Bell, turned down 5 years, $70 million deal. Sounds like a lot of money. Only $10 million was guaranteed in that. $33 million over the first 2 years if he played both years, but with injuries, you never know. He then signed a 4-year, $52.5 million deal with the Jets, but that had $27 million guaranteed. In his last season with the Pittsburgh Steelers, why this all happened, 1,291 yards rushing, 655 receiving. So, you're like, if you're Le'Veon Bell, you're like, pay me, right? Yeah. I'm stepping up and all. In his next 3 seasons with 4 different teams, he totaled 73 less yards rushing and 26 fewer yards receiving. So it has proven over time that when you have one of those big years, that takes a lot out of you.
Yeah, DeMarco Murray, TJ. I mean, you saw that happen. He had almost 400 carries, 380 carries.
They ran him to the ground, man.
Went to Philadelphia and was kind of nothing after that. You just look at the list of Super Bowl winners too. Like, who was the last, running back to win a Super Bowl that had a monster season or was a quote unquote kind of bell cow? You look down the list, it's a while before you get to someone. And also, why pay one guy $10 million when you can pay 3 guys $3 million and get the same production total?
I get it. I get the financial aspect of it. And at the end of the day, if I'm a general manager, I see these numbers, running backs average career 2.5 years. And I see, the fact that they're not able to produce as much historically after they've had a great season. You're probably not going to pay them what they believe they deserve. And it sucks, right? Because they're not getting paid that year that they did do extraordinary things.
Right. You're getting these guys on their rookie deals, and a lot of times they're not first-round draft picks. We only had 2 running backs in the first round this year. The previous years, you're lucky to get 1 running back in the first round. And you look at some of these guys, you're finding that big-time production in the second, third, fourth. Isaiah Pacheco was a 7th-round pick, scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl. He was hugely important to Kansas City, winning that game in February. And so it's, you look at and you just kind of do the shrug emoji and you're like, why would you want how much? Good luck.
It's interesting because it's shifted over time. I mean, running backs used to be the focal point. Now, I mean, the left tackle, we got Rashawn Slater coming up later on the show. He is a much more valuable, if this is a chessboard, right? He is a more valuable piece than the running back. And the guys on the defensive line, the defensive backs are more valuable pieces. But they're all important. And if you don't have a running back that can produce, I don't think you're going to have a quarterback that produces as well. I mean, it's not the protection necessarily, but at the end of the day, the running game sets up the passing game, to me, still in the NFL. And if you can't run the football, because in the playoffs, you still got to run the ball, right, Brockman? I mean,
you have to do it enough for them, the defense, to honor it and make you think you can do it. But when you can do it with 3 different guys, I don't know how I have to keep saying my point different ways. But I'm just, Kansas City, who was the leading rusher in the Super Bowl last year, do you think, for the Chiefs?
Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes was the 2nd leading rusher. He had 44 yards. Pacheco, a 7th-round pick, had 76 yards. The leading rusher for Philadelphia in the Super Bowl last year was the quarterback, Jalen Hurts. So, it doesn't necessarily lead to winning. And if you look at teams that have won the Super Bowl, you'd be hard-pressed to name the starting running back or who had the most yards in that game going back 10, 15 years.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.